So, I heard you spoke with the great axolotl during your 10th Weird and Wild Creatures video.
Okay, yes, maybe I did. Yeah, so what? You're not the only deity I'm allowed to talk to, okay? Don't get so high and mighty.
You're only supposed to get video advice from me. Don't bring that stupid paradox into this or I'll delete your channel.
No, you wouldn't dare. That's going too far, even for you, okay?
I'll freaking do it.
Okay, hold on. How about I make it up to you? How can I make it up to you, okay?
First of all, never speak to that dumb axolotl again. But you should also listen to my video suggestions. If I had my way, I'd suggest you do another tier list video.
Another tier list? Okay. Well, what would this tier list be on?
Cheese versus cheese.
Breaking news! A new episode of Let's Be Frank starting now!
Hello all! Cheese! Oh! We'll go with it. We'll take that one. This was like the 15th take. There. We all love it. Been on the floor so many times. But which cheese is the best cheese? Let's find out when we do this tier list. Because, of course, as I always say, my opinion is the definitive one. So, this is the true, honest, good for everything, definitive cheese tier list. Let's go! Oh, I got it perfect. That's good stuff. So I will admit, this cheese tier list maker that I found on the tier list maker website isn't exactly a complete list, you know? It's got some good classics on here, I'll give them that. It's got cheddar, Colby Jack, the Swiss, the Parmesan, the nacho cheese even. But here's the problem. There's a lot of really good cheeses not on this list. Some that I really, really like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through this list with all the cheeses presented. Then I will crudely Photoshop in my other choices for where I'm placing these cheeses that are not currently on this list. That makes sense? Hopefully it does. Rewind the video and re-listen to the explanation if you didn't get it. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Let's go ahead and begin. American cheese. It wants to be cheddar so bad, doesn't it? But you know what? It's not. It's not. American cheese is a B tier cheese. Fine on a hamburger, you know? But anybody remember those squeeze from a tube cans of cheese? Yeah, the American version of that wasn't very good. Not as good as the cheddar, anyway. And even when its own pure, true, cheesy form, American cheese just feels like it's trying to be something it's not. But, of course, we have a good, sharp cheddar. I don't know why they felt the need to make sure we knew it was sharp, but irregardless. By the way, some of these have pictures and some don't. It's kind of... If I could, like, upload my own pictures, I would. And I know you can. I just haven't figured out how. Maybe someday. Anyway. Sharp cheddar is S tier, obviously. It's one of the best cheeses. A delicious cheddar goes good with anything. Cheddar is the best cheese to make, you know, nacho cheese. The best cheese to put on a burger. Is it the best cheese overall? I don't think so. But is it an S tier cheese because it's like the most classic in the entire world? That is the fact. Alright, speaking of calming down, we have Colby Jack. It's the perfect in-between a nice, delicious, sharp cheddar and maybe a lesser, spoiler alert for the future, Swiss. You know, it's a good combo of a delicious, big punch in the face, good cheese, but a relaxed one as well. So it's a good A-tier cheese, you know? Colby Jack's the kind of cheese you can just eat by the handful, you know? Colby Jack, you know, you always find little cheese cubes as Colby Jack. String cheese is normally Colby Jack. I mean, you can get string cheese in a few different types of cheeses, but let's be honest. It's best when it's Colby Jack. Don't sleep on Colby Jack. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Cream cheese is garbage. Hot take. I'll admit, that's a hot take. A lot of people love cream cheese. I don't see it. There's this sushi burrito place in the Avenues Mall. If you watch my Ultimate Florida Mall tier list, you will see me rank that mall. Hey, advertising another tier list. How about that? But in that sushi burrito restaurant, they'll put cream cheese in a lot of their burritos, and it complements it nicely, I'll admit. But at the same time, cream cheese and almost anything else, like a bagel, like it's most commonly used for, I'd rather put almost anything else on a bagel, you know? Like peanut butter or some sort of like jelly or jam spread. Cream cheese just doesn't do it. Monterey Jack. Now, Monterey Jack is hard to place because I don't feel like I've had Monterey Jack too recently. So for that reason, I'm probably going to put it in B, because if memory serves, it's not one of the most standout cheeses. You know? You feel me? Monterey Jack kind of feels like that type of cheese and kind of floats under the radar a bit, but it's deserved. It's deserved, you know? Munster cheese, on the other hand, that is a solid A-tier cheese. I mean, like, let's talk about Munster here for a second. It's got a flavor I don't feel like everybody can sort of vibe with, but how to even describe the taste of Munster cheese? I don't know, it's kind of difficult. It's been a while since I've had Munster too, but I've had it hasn't been that long, but I feel the taste floating in my brain. I just can't pull words to describe it. If you haven't had Munster cheese, what are you doing? Have some Munster cheese. It's good stuff. Now, Swiss cheese, on the other hand, is definitely a C-tier cheese. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing great about it. Swiss cheese is the kind of cheese you put in like a nice big meaty sandwich because, you know, you just want some cheese in there. You don't want the cheese to overpower the meat and the seasonings on the meat or anything like that. Swiss cheese is the kind of cheese you put on a sub that, again, you want cheese on, but you don't want it to ruin the sub, like a cheddar or a Parmesan sort of would, you know? It's just there to be cheese, not there to be special, just cheese. Now you could argue that they're all here to be cheese, but you'd be wrong. You know how I know that? Because I'm always right. Parmesan, though, is that A or S? Parmesan, you know, nobody eats blocks of Parmesan. You put Parmesan on spaghetti, lots of Italian dishes. I like to throw a bunch of my stir fry. Kind of helps soak up the excess juices and everything. But, you know, I guess you can kind of, I mean, you don't eat like a block of Parmesan, but you know how the like shakeable Parmesan things, they kind of form into little clumps and little balls and whatnot. You like gingerly, like surgery, go in and take them out and pop one in your mouth. Good stuff. I'll even sit there and it's kind of like, I don't know if I want that gesture in the episode. And just kind of, never mind. Parmesan is delicious and worthy of A tier. Asiago. Now this may sound weird coming from the foremost cheese expert in the entire world, but I don't think I've ever had an Asiago cheese before. At least not with me knowing it was Asiago. Let me just confer with my secretary. Katrina.
Yes?
Have you had an Asiago cheese before?
Yes.
What do you think it tasted like?
It was good.
Okay. What did it taste like?
Like a lighter version of cheddar.
Okay. Well, in that case, it probably belongs somewhere in lower A tier. If Asiago is your favorite cheese, get a new favorite cheese. Why let it be Asiago? When somebody asks you, hey, what's your favorite cheese? You're not gonna say Asiago, are you? Are you? You're not. Not anymore, anyway. You're gonna say, hey, Let's Be Frank said it's only a lower A tier cheese. So it's no longer my favorite. Good Lord. Mozzarella. Mozzarella. Besides Parmesan, it is one of the best cheeses to use on Italian dishes. You're not going to put, mozzarella, you're not going to be dipping chips into a mozzarella. Oh, you could. I'm not going to tell you you can't, actually, because you could. But mozzarella cheese is probably a lower You know what? Now that I think about it, I'm only thinking of all the great things you can put mozzarella on. On its own, mozzarella is probably just a B-tier cheese. It kind of reminds me of a better version of Swiss. In that on its own, the flavor doesn't really shine. It doesn't do anything super special. Nobody's gonna sit there and eat clumps of mozzarella. I mean, again, I gotta stop saying you can't do this because you can. You can eat clumps of mozzarella cheese and you can feel good about that. But why would you do that when you can eat clumps of Colby Jack or cheddar instead? And finally, we get to the end of this list, not the entire list, because remember, there are some on here that, there are some that are not on here that need to be on here. But nacho cheese. Are you kidding me? Nacho cheese is some of the best cheese, especially if it's made properly. I live by this fact. If you don't like it, accept it. Fake processed cheese is some of the best cheese. Be real with yourself. If you're sitting there shaking your head at the screen saying, no, it's not. What's wrong with this guy? Like I know a certain faceless, nameless person probably is. Then just think and look inside yourself and know that you are wrong. Nacho cheese is delicious by every sense of the word. And yes, so now comes the point in the video where I gotta tell you guys the 3 cheeses that they neglected to mention that need to be on this list. And now I am going to be crudely photoshopping these in, and since I don't have a proper photoshopping application, they're going to be a little bit out of order because this is my perfect order. This is what I envision. Cheddar is first, best cheese so far. Then nacho, then Parmesan, Munster, on and on, all the way down to the cream cheese, which is freaking disgusting. But the 3 cheeses that must be brought up, absolutely must be brought up. The first one of those I'm going to mention is provolone. Now, provolone is just, it's a lot like Swiss. It's just the kind of cheese you want to put in a sub, especially like an Italian sub. Oh, so good. And it doesn't add a whole lot, but you can feel it in there and it'll make you happy, I would put provolone like just above Swiss, but again, crude photoshopping, so it will appear to be under it. Okay. Now we're gonna get to the 2 best cheeses ever. It is a literal crime that they are not on this list. And those 2 cheeses are Gouda and Feta. Oh, is it getting hot in here or is it just Feta? Actually, you shouldn't heat Feta. It's better cold in my opinion. Listen, buddy. You remember that video I just did with Leah recently, right? The Feta pasta and how it just was one of the best things that has been cooked on this channel. Feta cheese is the best cheese. And if you disagree with me, again, as I've said, that's okay. You're allowed to disagree with me, but you must also come to the conclusion that you are wrong and that feta cheese will always be the best. And Gouda's pretty good too. Gouda cheese, especially smoked Gouda. Smoked Gouda actually rivals feta cheese. Gouda on its own is probably still like tied with cheddar cheese. But smoked Gouda, I could eat that and only that for the rest of my life, and I'd live a happy life. So, in the S tier, obviously Feta and Gouda are in there. Obviously. Feta, top of the list. top of the list, smoked Gouda right next to it. You could even call it a tie for first, and you know, you'd be okay to call it that. I'll allow it. All right, well that does appear to be the cheese tier list. I really enjoyed making this list. I had thought a lot about it beforehand, but this was half like I know where these belong, and half, okay, I need to think about this. So if you did enjoy this video, I ask you that you please give it a like and subscribe. You've been growing in subscribers again recently, and I couldn't be happier. Let's reach 300 real soon. Follow my Instagram at Let's Be Frank 2020. I have a Facebook by the same name. And follow me on TikTok at Let's Be Frank TikTok. I inconsistently post videos there. Anyway, thank you so very much for watching. And with all that being said, go eat an entire block of feta cheese. Until next time. Hello all! Cheese! Close. Cheese! Nope, not quite. Cheese! Okay, how about instead of like throwing it, you just kind of give it a little toss. So close. Hello all! Cheese! Nope. At some point, we're just gonna have to go with it. This cheese is breaking. Hello all! Cheese! Nope, on the ground again. That we're trying to avoid. Alright, this is like the 15th take. There. We all love it! Been on the floor so many times.